Hello, amazing viewers. Good day to you all. Welcome to my channel. Plenty trouble for Tinubu and the APC. I tell you, this 2027 is really going to be hot. And I just pray that God is going to grant us long life, to witness the whole political game that is going to play out in 2027. Now, I said the last time I did a video that, okay, I love the fact that I'm seeing more people I'm seeing people coming out to, weigh in on the whole INEC restructuring reforms and whatsoever. And I want to believe that, okay, with what I'm seeing, that I'm going to see much more people, because I said it the last time, that I would love to see much more people, even the likes of Peter Obi, yes, even though they've been hitting on it. But, when we say coming together to actually demand for this particular thing, join the voice of millions of Nigerians that are crying and saying, no, we do not want INEC to repeat what they did in 2027. There is every need for this electoral reform to happen. And it's like the message is sinking into these individuals. The other day I talked about, how the PDP and some other persons, condemn this whole stuff about, the president being the person to appoint the head of an organization that brings him or her to power. And right now we are seeing the coalition of our political parties coming together to want Tinubu ahead of the 2027 election. They are saying, okay, they will resist every attempt being made that will be made by Tinubu to appoint loyalists. Now, what I want is not just removing it from the hand of Tinubu, but to make sure that, okay, this thing is being handed to a body or group of persons that will be neutral when it comes to appointment. I mean, like, we have the likes of Uncle Dele Farotimi, people who were so sure that, okay, they're not going to be biased in carrying out this whole duty. There are people with that really clamor for a better Nigeria, that would love them to be to be part of a panel that will appoint anybody that is to head INEC. Look, but I acknowledge, I love the fact that, okay, at least they are understanding what they're asking for, and they are trying to lend a voice, join their voice to the voices of millions of Nigerians calling for electoral reform. Now, I'm going to be reading what has been reported, but before that, let me first of all show us this video where Dino Melai, Sir Peter Ame, where they raise their voice, talk about the coming together of a recent meeting, the maiden meeting of political parties, opposition political party coming together, to ask for one particular thing. Now, I'm going to show you this video. It's quite a lengthy video. I'm going to show you the video all the same before we come back, and then I get to read what the media reported with regards to the coalition of political party.
This is a meeting by opposition political parties in Nigeria, and it's our maiden meeting. And the purpose of this meeting is to galvanize the support of political parties towards judicial and electoral reforms in this country, towards good governance, towards reforming our electoral process. And today we have adopted a name, and the name of this group will be Conference of Opposition Political Parties in Nigeria, COPIN. And by the grace of God, it was a very fruitful meeting. The Labour Party delegation was led by Chief, and we also have the delegation of ABGA, led here by yes, and we have the apology of few political parties, but we've all agreed that as opposition political parties in this country, we are going to work together to end the pain and end the shame, democratic shame in this country. We want to make sure that we visibly meet to discuss issues of electoral reform, issues of judicial reform, issues of INEC, issues of rigging, and how we can partner together as opposition political parties in this country to work together to end the democratic shame and the democratic pain in this country, especially from the last elections we've seen in Kogi and Imo. We believe that we cannot continue like this as a country. There's a need for amelioration, there's a need for palliation, there's a need for correction. And we have resolved that I, as the convener of this meeting, will drive the political parties, opposition political parties in this country, to do the needful and to keep the party in power in check, to make sure that our democratic ideals, our democratic doctrines, our democratic tenets in this country is respected, and that there will be fairness, there will be equity, there will be egalitarianism in our democracy in this country. And we believe that we have adjourned to meet in a date that will be announced, and we are going to take this very seriously. And the battle to rescue this country democratically for all opposition political parties is a battle of no retreat, no surrender. And we are all committed to this cause. And what we are calling for here is not a measure. What we are calling for is all opposition political parties working together to build our democracy, to strengthen our democracy, to ameliorate our democratic problems, to make sure that by the grace of God, we push for, judicial and electoral reforms that will strengthen our democratic process and stop rigging and stop allocation of votes by the ruling political party, and to be proper opposition parties, or proper political opposition political parties in this country. So it is not it's a matter of collaboration, it's a matter of unity, it's a matter of doing things together for the betterment of the masses and the populace of this country. So it is not a matter of a measure, it is not a measure of political parties, it is rather a conference of opposition political parties in Nigeria. And the main purpose is to make sure that together we push for a unified electoral and judicial system, to have a better electoral process, and to curb the likes of Mahmoud Yakubu from rigging elections in subsequent
Okay, so what's your reaction to the relocation of Kogi State Governorship Election Tribunal to Abuja here?
I have no confidence in the judicial system, so I don't even, whether relocated or not relocated, the judiciary remains the judiciary.
This is about putting interests together to make sure that our democratic processes work for the general populace, who are the electorate, who are suffering bad leadership, bad governance, occasioned by bad electoral processes, as led by Yakubu Mahmoud. For us, for things to work, this partnership is for electoral, judicial, and constitutional reform that will help in improving our electoral atmosphere, that will make sure that one man, one vote will be the issue, that will make sure that anybody who goes to cast his vote will be sure that his vote will be counted, that will make sure that Nigerians will have confidence in the electoral process again. Because as it stands today, let me tell you, we have one of the worst democratic process going on right now, because the way the Electoral Commission is managing the process. And I tell you, it's very also important, as part of the electoral reform that we're pursuing, that the commission will be unbundled. Because as today, the commission is overburdened, and because of that nature of weight, commission is acting as state, as someone who is protection of the state, who work and conduct election as if the interest is to protect parties in government. The opposition parties have suffered more over the years, because when you go to election, you have to work along with the fact that the electoral system is working against you from day one. And Labour Party suffered more in the last election. So for all this to work, the parties must be united. They must come together to have a focus on how the electoral system must be fair, electoral system must be credible, and the electoral system must represent the true wishes and aspirations of our people.
All right, thank you. Please.
I have a little question. Whatever you are doing in this coalition ends up at the National Assembly, this conference ends up at the National Assembly. And the National Assembly is headed by somebody to do the right thing and to restore the right policy.
The National Assembly is the people's house, and they will know that when the Nigerian people speak and have a reform that will protect the general interests of our people, that they will not work against it. Because one, the National Assembly does not only consist of the ruling party, it consists of all other parties, like the PDP and the Labour Party and the NNPP, then ABGA. So we are going there to present something that will save Nigeria from this shame, from this international embarrassment, something that will give light and give life to our electoral processes, something that will enrich our democratic practice, something that will give growth and development to our people. Because why? Because elections are not fair, because elections are not credible, and is the reason why those who get into government misbehave, because they are not elected by the people. When our elections start to have this ingredients, that credentials that is fair, that is credible, and that is only by the vote of the people that you can be elected, you will find out those who get into office will be responsible and be responsive to the earnings of our people.
Ikora, the National Vice Chairman, North Central ABGA.
Okay, let's hear from the ABGA angle of this.
Yeah, the conference today showed us that we need to come together and make the democracy work again. So we can't allow it continue happen in the way they want it. This is a democracy, and we must work together. And this, at the time we are coming now, we must compel them to do what is right for the masses.
Thank you very much.
Abdulaziz Arikora is my name.
My name is Ajia Zoira Issa, National Deputy Woman Leader from ABGA.
Now the elections are over and the political parties are trying to come together to find a way of adjusting the electoral process to give us credible elections in the country. Do you think what do you think should be done to get the system working?
Okay, for my own assumption, the way they call us together, they want us to unite ourselves so that the way we can move the political level. Because believe me honestly, we are left behind the way and those people are doing with the other parties. They are not doing actually what's supposed to be done. They are just doing their own. So after they call us, they want us to be united and live together so that we can work on together. I believe when we are united to ourselves, we can achieve what we want, inshallah.
Let me commend these individuals for making the effort to understand what the average Nigerian, the well-meaning average Nigerian is talking about, and then seeing how they can come together, to salvage the whole situation, to save Nigeria's democracy. Yes, I may not have seen all the faces in this whole meeting that they came together, but I do believe that there are also people who have messed up the nation in that coalition. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it is good they are coming together, but it is also good that they watch out the kind of people who are coming together, because in the midst of all these political parties coming together, not as a merger, but for one goal, you will find out that there are people who are also, not for the purpose of why they have gathered in that group. People they will be say they just come there, they say, hey, just go, we are there, and they'll go and deliver info to the APC about what happened or what they are planning. It's likely going to happen. There's a high chance that that's going to happen. There are also people who are within that place too that have messed up the whole place. See the ABGA where we say now the umbrella where Soludo use contest election become governor of Anambra State. See the how Soludo is misbehaving. Now, is Soludo not also contributing to the damage of our democracy? Is he not contributing? He is. So imagine the likes of Soludo being an opposition in that kind of meeting and tell you we have to salvage the democracy. Is it not? You know, they're very funny. Just imagine the likes of Soludo. Let me leave out the APC governors because you can't find them there already because they are the ruling party. So you can't find them there. Now let's talk about that one. And let's even talk about some of the useless governors from PDP. Imagine them in that political party, because they have also contributed in, messing the democracy up. Some of them. Look, I love the fact, I commend them for coming together to say, we have to find a way. Because the truth is that Tinubu has finished whatever we have that we've been, defining as democracy. Tinubu has wrecked it. So there is every need to find a way. There is every need to talk about having free, fair election. Demanding that it happens. They should keep singing this song. I see they talk this thing. These people, if they are ready, I know say Dino na one radical person. I know Dino is a radical person. Dino self na another person will be say, I no trust him. Yes. He may not want to join the APC, yes. But how well have they stood for the truth in the past? How well have they been able to represent their constituency very well? But I know Dino is one radical person that, is also ready today to say, okay, let's go. Let's hit the streets. At least, he get that kind of ginger for body. There is every need for all this, what they are doing. Very important. But they should also look out for moves. Because not everybody will come that meeting. Come with the purpose of why they call the meeting. But I must commend them that they are even making effort to look at the loopholes, the problems that we have. And the major problem, now the APC 1, INEC 2, Judiciary 3, the police the 4. Of course, if we want to join again, we cannot join EFCC, we cannot start joining the Nigerian Army, everything security personnel, the DSS. I love the fact that these people, they are taking this whole electoral reform, having free fair election seriously. I love that fact. Now, let me read out what the media reported about, the coalition of political parties warning Tinubu. The Coalition of United Political Parties (CUPP) has rejected what it described as alleged plans by President Bola Tinubu to appoint one of his loyalists as the next chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). In a release signed by the coalition's national spokesperson, Comrade Mark Adebayo, the coalition insisted that the president is playing a dangerous game of planning to ethnicize the appointment of the next person who will replace the outgoing INEC chairman, who is notorious for conducting the worst series of elections since the country's return to democracy in 1999. Now, the president is scheming to appoint a yes man to him as the next INEC chairman, who will conduct even worse election than the outgoing chairman. The signs are already manifesting in ways the ruling party is orchestrating crisis in opposition political parties as to weaken them significantly prior to the 2027 general elections, especially the presidential election, having realized that the APC cannot win in a free and fair contest due to the horrible records of the Tinubu inefficient administration, where economic hardship and insecurity are the predominant features. The president has allegedly perfected plans to further compromise the election management body to serve his personal purpose of election results manipulation. We call on Nigerians to support the CUPP in our advocacy for a comprehensive electoral reforms ahead of the 2027 general elections, starting with legislating electronic transmission of results from the polling unit into law without any chance of contrived glitch. The international community should pay strong attention to Nigeria's democratic process and act promptly to save our democracy and country from the stranglehold of electoral bandits. We call on the international community to sanction all INEC officials and politically exposed persons who are actively contributing to disrupting Nigeria's democracy, either by sponsoring internal crises in other political parties or helping election riggers to manipulate election results or unleashing thugs on opponents and related criminalities. Appointment of a Yoruba person or any other appointee from any part of the country with questionable pedigree will be unacceptable to Nigerians and will be stoutly resisted. In addition to the unprecedented suffering and burgeoning insecurity in the country, the president is only preoccupied with retaining power by hook or crook, starting with his alleged plan to impose a questionable character on the nation's election management. This government has taken Nigerians for granted enough, and we caution it to avoid instigating an unmitigatable cataclysmic implosion that could threaten the country's stability and democracy. I hope this group of coalition of political party, or I think that's what they call themselves, I hope they realize that talk is cheap. It is not all about threatening, you know, on television or, radio station. It is actually taking the action when the need arises. Because Tinubu is a man that do as he deems fit. So he might as well decide to say, I'm going to be the INEC chairman. So what action will they take then? Joining hands with Nigerians. I know say the people where they support the APC, yes, they know, bad as it be, they know reach 10 million. Yes. So we have much more people prepared to come out to protest against the shenanigans of the APC. I don't want all these things to just be talk. Even what Dino is saying, I don't even want them to. I don't want it to just be talk. It is something that action needs to be taken. It is good they are talking about it though. The fact that, okay, this thing is coming to their mind that, okay, these are the problems we're having. How do we cope this problem? You know, ahead of 2027. It is good it's coming to their mind. But we are seeing actions that speaks louder than words is needed in this place. If not, Tinubu go do as he deem fit. You know, they see how even the assembly don't make mockery of Nigerians. They can go ahead and protest. We will just sit in our house and do this thing. How did the Senate president put it again? So for we, it shouldn't just be talk alone. Because November don't reach, oh. November don't reach. Either way, Yakubu is corrupt. Yakubu will remain or Yakubu will go. Either way, somebody will come in. And somebody, of course, that they know is going to be there. If Tinubu will appoint them, or even the National Assembly want to set up panel to do so, or even they transfer it to the judiciary, you and I know that it is still going to be somebody who is loyal to Tinubu. So, let's stop deceiving ourselves. What do we now do? Do we now wait for the appointment to be done before something happens? Or, I don't know. But what's their plan? It shouldn't be just talk. I would love to see action the very moment if they remove Yakubu and then put another person. It don't even matter whether na Yoruba, Abina, Hausa, Abina, Igbo. It doesn't even matter whether it's Kanuri. It doesn't matter, because the truth is that whomever they are going to appoint, if it's not Yoruba people, it doesn't mean we should keep calm. It doesn't mean they should just swallow it and say, hey, it's not Yoruba, nothing is going to happen. No. We know how the government of the day works. We know how the APC Tinubu administration works. So it is better to know what they are doing than for them to come out much later. At the end of the night, they will just go to national television, all back, finish. Nothing. This one is a very serious battle. This whole rescuing of Nigeria is a very serious battle. And we need to take it seriously. The opposition, need to take it seriously. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave your opinion in the comment section. Kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Click on the notification bell each time you subscribe. That way you get to know as soon as I publish. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you for the immense support. God bless you richly. I am super grateful. See you guys in my other videos.